Okay, if we're going to recreate this old pic of us that Mom posted, we've got to get the outfits right.
Well, for some reason, I can't find gauchos with a matching shrug anywhere.
Let me try on my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. I just use the S Pen to circle the outfit in the post, and bam, 5 sites to buy it from right here.
Shut up! How did you...
You shut it. Mom's coming.
Cute outfit. Get me one.
Circle it, find it with the new Galaxy S24 Ultra and circle the search with Google. Upgrade now at Samsung.com. Internet connection required. Results may vary based on visuals.
The legends are true. Overwhelming power.
The sauce of destiny.
Yes! The most legendary sauce has arrived as McDonald's transforms into the anime world of WickDonald's. The greatest flavors unite in all new savory chili McDonald's sauce to make your 10-piece Wick Nuggets, fries, and Sprite ultra powerful. Unlock manga comics with every meal and sit down for a new anime short every week only at WickDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, go!
At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode, and I'm really delighted for today's guest, Josh Cunningham. He's a fellow Aggie, and he's going to talk to us all about company culture, and has a degree in entrepreneurial business management from A&M, and he's got a lot of interesting ideas, and I'm happy to welcome him to the show. So, Josh, welcome.
Yeah, thanks so much, Christopher. Happy to be here, man.
You have a podcast called 5-Star Company Culture, and I think the first time I heard about company culture was Zappos with Tony Hsieh, where he was talking about this culture as an asset. Talk about your journey and how you came to espouse the importance of company culture in today's climate.
Yeah, that's a great question. There's some things I think as business leaders that we just have an inherent skill of, and then there's other things that are, learned and acquired through experience. But the first job I ever had out of high school was working at Best Buy. And, I was a computer nerd in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so I just wanted to work there to be around technology. But I really discovered that I had an incredible knack for taking people's lifestyle, habits and desires, and being able to communicate that in features and benefits of technology that a lot of people weren't used to. So I had a lot of fun in that job, being able to connect those two pieces together. And so I never really thought of myself as a sales guy. I thought of myself as a computer nerd. But now I realize all of a sudden I have this, ability to help people solve problems, through needs analysis and making recommendations. And it was really kind of that foundation that really launched my young professional career. I wound up, moving up to College Station to go to school at Texas A&M. I transferred up to the store here in College Station, worked my way up into management at a very young age. And one of the things that I thought that Best Buy did that was really great was, establishing standard operating procedures. That was one of the biggest takeaways that I had from working at such a huge, business. And then the thing is too, that, we were all very proud of the work that we did. So we had fun while we were doing it. And so that made work less like work. It made it seem like you were showing up and just hanging out with your buddies, and you happen to get a paycheck every 2 weeks. And so that was kind of the foundation. That was the first job that I ever had. A lot of times when I asked people about their first job, it was like, oh, it was a disaster. I was lifeguarding at the YMCA or whatever. But for me, I luckily had that wonderful foundation set. And from that point on, every other job that I ever had after that was really kind of a comparison of the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like. And so to me, work was something that, it felt like an opportunity to be around people that you enjoyed being around, providing a service that you were really proud of. And, not to say every job that I had was like that. In fact, there was ones that didn't have those features and benefits. And so those were the types of things that I wanted to avoid. So I came to school to study entrepreneurial business management. I got into the real estate space. I was actually working for a marketing firm in the real estate world, traveling the country, going to all these different real estate seminars and events, and, rubbing elbows with the top producing agents and teams in the industry. And what I discovered was not only what made them successful, but also what kept them up at night, right? What were those pain points in their business? What were those major voids? And the problem that existed that was blatantly obvious was that all these agents were generating a ton of internet leads. They're paying PPC campaigns and paying CRM costs, and then giving all these leads to their agents, and their agents were doing a terrible job of following up with them. So there was a wide gaping problem in the industry And so I thought, my entrepreneurial blood's pumping through my veins, thinking, every day, like, how do I find a problem, figure out how to solve it? Here's a really big problem shared by the most successful people in the real estate space. I'm going to figure out how to solve that, and then I'm going to sell it back to them. And so, that's the most basic, shallow element of what a business is that we profitably solve a problem. And so when I decided to start building that business, I thought, well, why don't I do it right here in College Station, Texas, which is, of course, home to Texas A&M University? And why don't I tap in to the talent base that's here, which are young professionals who, they come to this town looking to grow their resume, looking to build experiences and create some skills that are going to set them apart from their peers. And so the reason that we were able to make this, successful, I started this business 10 years ago, was that we took a problem that needed to be solved, right? The work that nobody else wanted to do. We hired a generation of talent that stereotypically doesn't have a good reputation for being hard workers, right? Millennials and Gen Z. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but the winning piece of it, the glue that held it all together, the foundation that we built this empire upon, was a 5-star company culture. And that was just the things that I had learned, through my experiences and just the inherent desires that I had when it came to showing up at work and being around other people is I want to create an environment where it's fun and it's challenging and people feel have a passion for the service that we provide and the problem that we solve. And so we've done that from day one. I mean, I started the organization with core values. I started the organization with a very bold mission. And then that was the foundation that was laid that allowed us to build a successful empire. Over the last 10 years, we've managed over 3 million internet leads, and we've hired and trained over 400 Texas A&M students to follow up on internet leads. And so, I love Tony Hsieh. I love the book that he bought the rights to tribal leadership. That teaches the different levels of culture within your organization. But I mean, to me, it really truly is the rock solid foundation that you build your organization upon. It's the guiding, star of how you hire, how you fire, how you reward, how you discipline, how you move the company forward through different challenges in the market. It all comes back to the belief system that we have. As business owners, we're always like result driven. Most people, I would imagine, on this podcast, attorneys, doctors, entrepreneurs, we're all very result-driven people. We always want to achieve the next level of success. But if you study our results, you become a student of the results, you realize that you peel it back a layer. It comes from the actions that we take, right? The actions, the behaviors that we're responsible for. But then when you peel that back another layer, you say, well, why do we do the things that we do? Well, it really is inspired by the psychological and emotional state that we're in. If you're having a good day, you're going to make good decisions. You're going to have good results. You're having a really crappy day, more than likely you're going to make some bad decisions that are going to have bad results. But then you peel back another layer, you say, okay, where did this feeling come from? Why do we feel the way that we feel about the work environment that we're in? And that comes from our beliefs. That comes from our core values as an organization of these rules and these principles and these guiding foundations of how we're going to make decisions here. And so that's why I've just been super passionate about company culture. I've built a successful real estate, call center solution. I never as a kid aspired to, I'm going to run a call center one day, but it happened to be on my entrepreneurial journey of finding a problem, figuring out how to solve it, and doing it in a way that was different because we made the work fun and rewarding and meaningful for everybody involved. Mm-hmm. So I know that was a long-winded answer there, but I hope I gave you some nuggets there.
Yeah, it's actually really a lot to unpack, and because now these days with because you mentioned millennials and Gen Z, and millennials and Gen Z work smarter, they don't work harder, and they work for things that they're passionate about, and it may not really in boomers' eyes it may look like laziness or whatever, but actually they're just doing things that are moving the needle forward as opposed to just getting stuck. So what's interesting is you're describing culture as an asset class now. It's like something that's valuable, because before, like S&P 500 company, it's like this corporate culture, but really doesn't really work for a lot of people. But then you have individuals such as yourself, like innovating and creating new systems to create. It's almost like technology. You're building and creating and innovating. So there's a really good quote, the culture eats strategy for breakfast, which was, I think Tony Robbins said that. Why is it that most companies these days, I would say 90% of companies, they say, oh, company culture, that's so important, and they kind of give these platitudes, but they don't actually execute on that, or, these problems come up and they're like, oh, they just give you the same party line. What is that about?
Back to the age old saying, actions speak louder than words. A lot of people, what culture is it's, oh, we put some cute artwork up on the wall and these are the core values. And we test everybody in the new employee orientation. We have them memorize this and regurgitate it. That's not culture. Culture is truly the spirit. It's something that you can feel. There are certain things that you can measure. You can do employee surveys, you can do customer surveys, and you can evaluate the response of people coming through your hiring process and people moving up and out of your company. But there are some things that you can measure. But ultimately, we've probably all been there before. You walk into a business or you walk into someone's household and you can just feel that sense of like tension and stress and frustration and bad vibes. And it's not something that you're magnetically attracted to, and then the same goes for the reverse of that. I'm sure you've walked into an environment where you can just feel the overwhelming positive energy. I mean, a great example, we're both Aggies here. I mean, walking to Kyle Field on a Saturday afternoon. I mean, A&M is guilty of having one of the most mediocre football teams of all time. But you walk into that stadium and there's an overwhelming energy of positivity and connection and commitment and tradition. That's what a culture truly is. It's not just the words of the fight song. It's the fact that everybody is willing to stand up the entire game in 110-degree weather and until they collapse. It's the actions that speak louder than words. And so, yeah, I think it's a buzzword. And that's why I'm on a mission to help more entrepreneurs and business leaders truly make their core values come to life. That's what we do through 5-Star Company Culture, through some of our coaching and consulting programs, because I'm just so passionate about it. I know how much, as a business leader, it's created so much freedom and profits in my life. Once I built the foundation of the business here at rokrbox, I actually moved out to San Diego for 5 years. So I was young and I just met my wife. We were a young couple and we thought, hey, let's go have fun and experience the world. And so we packed up our bags and moved to downtown San Diego for 5 years. And we had the freedom to do that because there was a thriving and living and evolving culture that existed within our organization. I say there's really 3 keys to success. You got to have systems in place. Systems are something that are teachable, they're learnable, they can be improved, they can be measured. You got to have the right talent that follows those systems, right? And so that's all good and great. You've got the recipe and you've got the chefs in the kitchen, but it's the foundation that actually makes all that stuff come to life, because the talent has to always continue to develop and the systems have to always be improved. And so that's why I say it's something that you feel. It's not necessarily just the words on the wall or the words of the fight song or the new employee handbook. It's something you live and breathe and eat each and every day. And a lot of companies miss that. They're like, oh, there's this buzzword. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put a ping pong table in the break room. Yeah, we've got culture. Oh, we got snacks over here, and they're free. But that's not really culture. Culture is the way people feel when they come into your organization.
Yeah. So I know because you help with, and it's really building a company culture is very different than building a business, because you're dealing with people. So kind of what's the first step? Is it hiring the right leader? Is it kind of talking about values, and is it hiring? Is it systems? What's that first step?
Yeah, I mean, the first step normally starts right at the top. The CEO, the founder, the visionary of the company, and really going on a deep exploration of like, why is it that you do what you do? Not what is it that you do and how do you accomplish this achievement, but like, why do you do what you do? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What gives you a good sleep at night? And again, I think as entrepreneurs, we get into this game of like, let's figure out how to solve a problem and deliver it profitably. But there's really no meaning behind that. There's no soul in that experience. And that's only going to get people to show up and go to work for that mission until they find something else more important and something bigger that they believe in. And then they're going to be leaving your organization for that grass that's greener on the other side. So it really starts with the visionary. It starts with the CEO, with the founder of the company. And if you can't really articulate, why it is that you do what you do, then you got to imagine how difficult your employees can, are going to have to articulate why they would want to come work for you, or your customers articulate why they use your service or why they use your product. So it really starts at the top with the visionary of doing a really good deep dive and exploration of really what their path and their mission and their desires are in life through their business, right? Their business just happens to be a vehicle to help them achieve their goals and dreams. And then from there, I mean, a lot of the work that we do with organizations isn't just, bringing this one key person and everything works. It's the whole family. It's the whole organization. If you think about the amount of time that we spend with certain people in our lives, when we're born into this world, your relationships that you have are mostly with your parents, right? You spend a lot of time with your parents, and the inverse as well, parents with kids, right? You spend a lot of time. And then right around 18 years old, people are graduating high school, they're leaving the house. The amount of time that you spend with your parents and the amount of time that parents spend with their kids declines significantly, right? Now you're stepping out into the adult world. And you look at the other pivot that happens in our lives, there's obviously finding a life partner, right? Finding a wife or a husband and spending a lot of time with them for the rest of your life. But really the most people that we spend the most amount of time with consistently throughout our entire life is people that we work with, right? And whenever you get that first job, whether you're 16 working at Best Buy like I was, or whether you're out bagging groceries at the grocery store, whatever that is, from the time that you had that first job until the time that you retire, a majority of our lives is spent with those people. I mean, there's 168 hours in a week. We're working at 25% of that. You're hopefully sleeping, another little, 20% here or there. Yeah, whatever that might be. And then you got a little bit of free time, with friends and family on the weekend. But a majority of the time that we spend is with the people that we work with. And so, a lot of times people talk about company culture and this is your family. And you really compare the amount of hours that you're spending with these people. For a lot of people, this is your first family. You're not related to them by blood or by marriage, but the amount of time that you spend in their presence and that they spend in presence with you, collaborating and growing and becoming stronger and overcoming, obstacles in life and in the market, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
That's your family. And so it's not just, hey, let's bring in this one guy and he's going to, hocus pocus everybody and we're all going to love our jobs. It's really about looking at your organization as a human capital organization, no matter what it is that you do. If your business isn't entirely run by robots, then you are in charge of a human capital organization. And in order to maximize that asset and get the most out of them, you've got to figure out where is everybody at in their path of life and how do your goals and dreams correlate with their goals and dreams and be on a congruent path together to continue to grow. And so it really is the whole organization from top to bottom. And then when you have a culture that's 5-star, that's in the vision that you wanted it to be, the thing is people are going to leave. Right? Because we all come from different walks of life and we all might want different things. So some people will be magnetically attracted to that. And then some people will be magnetically repelled from that and need to go find what it is that they're looking for somewhere else. And that's perfectly okay.
Yeah. It's quite interesting because, talking to you and then studying 5-star company organizations, a lot of them, I think it's probably less than 1% actually work for them. And there's a lot of qualified people. It's just that they don't fit into that culture it's not the right fit. So, it's all talking about, this has been a really fascinating discussion. And, how can people contact you, learn more about you, hire you for speaking, consulting, and, reach out to you? So,
my baby is rokrbox. That's our real estate inside sales assistant company. It's spelled a little strange. It's ROKRBOX. Rokrbox is an old gold mining tool used to separate sand and gravel from gold. So if you're in real estate and you got leads and need help with that, you can always go to rokrbox.com. But if you're looking for some help when it comes to that company culture, how you can attract and retain the top quality talent, how you can deliver exceptional results to your customers to get more referral and repeat business, and then you as a business leader or owner create some more profits and freedom in your life. We didn't become entrepreneurs to work this grind until the day that we die. We became entrepreneurs because we wanted more freedom. We wanted more freedom of whether that's time or money or family or whatever, travel, whatever that might be. Then go to 5starcompanyculture.com. You can spell it out 5, or you can do the number 5, and then shoot me an email, josh@5starcompanyculture.com. Check out the website, shoot me an email. Would love to connect with you and learn a little bit more about you and your business and what your struggles are. And, the key here is it's not necessarily about, doing a complete overhaul we got to tip the building, the whole building upside down on its head and shake it out and see what comes out. It's there's really a lot of small adjustments that you can make to your day-to-day routines, to your hiring practices, to your leadership, communication. There's a few small things that a lot of people can implement immediately, very quickly into their business that'll equal huge results for their business and for their lives. So it's not a huge project, not a huge undertaking, but again, it's all about those small pivotal adjustments that magnify into huge results for your business.
I love that. The Darren Hardy said the compound effect, those small things, massive. So
exactly.
Yeah. For all the audience, be sure to reach out to Josh, check out his website, give him a like and follow on socials. And with that, thanks so much for inspiring podcast interview.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you so much, Christopher.